Mark Rogers TV continuing our series running through various coaching interviews across the country as we conclude spring practice. We've got Charlie Partridge on the line from FAU. Coach, thanks so much for joining us. Jaquez Johnson moves on after a very successful career, one of the top quarterbacks in the history of the school. Daniel Parr, redshirt freshman. Also, you've got Jason Driskel, who got his feet wet pretty substantially last year, made some plays against Miami in particular, threw 3 touchdown passes. Your thoughts about the progression of these two young quarterbacks?
They both made each other better every single day. Jason Driskel, you can feel his experience and his awareness as a quarterback, has a lot of savvy to him. Daniel Parr makes some throws that get you really excited. You feel he's a freshman, but he made a lot of progress through the course of spring.
You know, Coach, if you get this quarterback situation stabilized, you look to be in pretty good shape in regards to what you've got coming back. The offensive line, very stable. 4 starters back. Bain, Smith, DuBois, Parfit, a number of guys coming back who got a ton of starts under their belts last year.
Yeah, you broke up there a little bit, but you were talking about the offensive line. Reggie Bain, like you said, we're excited about him. Actually, someone coming out of his redshirt year, Tarek Thomas, made a huge push. He's really kind of taken that spot from Smith. So good thing. Some of the young guys coming in and fighting and pushing and competing, so we're excited about that. And but you're right. I think the O-line and the depth and their progress is as far along as it has been since I've been here. So and they're who wins the games. It's how we won at Wisconsin and how they're building it at Arkansas. As they continue to get better, there's going to be a lot of great things that happen in this program.
Yeah, so at running back, you got Buddy Howell, who ran for about 600 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jay Warren coming into his senior season as well, pretty productive back. So you've got guys behind an experienced offensive line who have also had a number of reps.
Yeah, and you talk about Greg Howell, Buddy. He's been called Buddy since he was young. So Buddy Howell really separated himself this spring. But Kareth White, who's a name you didn't mention, he's coming out of his redshirt year as a redshirt freshman. He really showed in the spring flashes of being able to compete at a very high level. Still has some growing up to do and things like that, but you'd say Buddy Howell is the guy who's going to carry the weight the most at that position. But Kareth White shows that he can be a big play guy as well, which is fun to see a freshman get into that position.
Coach, stats can fool us sometimes. You were like 105th in passing offense and passing efficiency last year. Right. At the same time, if you look at total yardage in the passing game, it doesn't always spell exactly what's going on the field. Teams throw it, obviously, when they're behind. Your thoughts about the passing game and what's a successful passing attack going to look like for you this year?
Well, it's efficiency, and that's why I'm excited about this offensive system. We're really, I think, going to do a tremendous job of taking what the defense gives us. So a successful pass game is one that forces defenses to change to defend it, and then that opens up the run game. Sometimes works the other way, of the pass, and vice versa. So I'm excited about the way our progressions work, the efficiency at which our pass game. It's a completely new system. So I'm excited about the efficiency of it, and I think it'll allow our kids to have a lot of success.
Florida Atlantic head coach Charlie Partridge joining us after a 3-5 campaign in Conference USA. Coach, let's look at the defense. What really stands out to me is that you've got a ton of playmakers coming back that still are pretty young. Aside from Trey Hendrickson up front, of course, he's the star, number 2 nationally in sacks last year. A lot of guys throughout this defense are still sophomores. You had a ton of production from the freshmen at DB and also linebacker that have already made plays, but they're still going to be around this program for a while.
Yeah, and that's when we came here 2 years ago. We knew we had to really rebuild the culture. That was one of the things we agreed that we were gonna have to grow up a lot and have freshmen play early. And now you get some of the fruits of that pain and that labor when you had those freshmen maybe playing earlier than you wanted them to, but they grew up so fast. And Jalen Young, O.C. Rose, Herb Miller, Shelton Lewis, all these guys are in a position that they're coming back now with experience, and it's only their second year in college football. So we're excited to have them for a long future ahead of us and really make great progress this spring just in their awareness and their communication, which will help the continued growth of our defense as a whole.
Yeah, people aren't familiar out there, Aziz Al-Shaair, sophomore linebacker coming back after a freshman All-American season with 94 total tackles and 7 tackles for loss. You mentioned Young and Rose, both those guys combining for over 100 tackles, 6 picks between them last season. All right, Coach, you got kind of a downtime. Hopefully everybody stays out of trouble and everybody stays healthy between now and the 1st of August. What are going to be the goals once you get to camp?
Well, you know what, to settle the quarterback depth position, the depth spot there, the starting spot, and I'm really going to let them compete week and a half before the first game, because this, I think they're going to continue to push each other. So that's the first thing, is really get our depth chart set at the quarterback spot, but they'll continue to compete, build depth, and really just continue on the growth pattern that we have since I've been here, and live our fundamentals and be a process-oriented team. Defensively, we need to really find some production at the defensive tackle spot, because we lose 2 guys that are in NFL mini camps right now. We've got Ray Ellis had a really nice spring, Shalom Agbanda, Stephen Leggett, a couple freshmen coming in. So really the D tackle spot is the one that we're keeping a close eye on to make sure that we continue to develop there, because we feel like we have the pieces around that on defense. On offense, continue to get our receivers to go make plays. If we can do those things and be process oriented, I think we have a chance to have a good season.
And then before you dive into a very competitive Conference USA, it's Southern Illinois for the opener. And I know you don't like to look ahead, but the folks out there, the fans, Coach, you know what they're looking at. They're looking at Miami and Kansas State.
Yeah. Yep, you bet. Southern Illinois, they have our full attention. Not worried about their record last year. They have a new coach, but that coach was the offensive coordinator, and all he did was destroy records at Southern Illinois. I mean, they're averaging almost 500 yards a game. So they do have our full attention and full focus. And then we, like you said, we go down and play at Miami, and then which is just down the street, of course, and go up and play at K-State, and then come home for a tough one against Ball State. So we just need to, hate to coach speak you, but we're at a point where we need to focus on nothing but the first game, and Miami will come. Our kids will be ready. That'll take care of itself when the time comes, but a lot of work between now and that first Southern Illinois opener.
All right, Florida Atlantic focused on improvement after 3 wins in Conference USA last season. Charlie Partridge joining us. Coach, we appreciate the time.
Thank you. Have a great day.